Hey, welcome to today's edition of the Gripe Session podcast. We definitely appreciate you checking us out again today. Today, I have a very, very simple podcast that I wanted to do and a very simple video. Basically, what does it center on? Well, we're going to get into it next.
It's Gripe Session time with your host, George Wanaka.
It's about nothing.
Discussing everything from real estate, current events, a little bit of everything, and the annoying little things that just tick you off.
You can't handle the truth.
What? You didn't know?
Here's your host, George
Your
Wanaka.
ass better call somebody.
Hey, I wanted to thank you for watching today's podcast and listening to it. We definitely appreciate the support. If you have any questions in regards to real estate, here's the thing. You got to send me a email, got to shoot me a message, shoot me a text, hell, send up a smoke signal if you have to. But if you're looking to have any questions on real estate, I have contacts throughout the nation. So it doesn't necessarily have to mean right here in Staten Island, New York, where I'm based. You can always reach out to me and I'll do my best to make sure that you're taken care of the right way, because that's what I do for my listeners and people that watch these. So with that being said, let's get into today's edition. Well, let's go into a lot of what I keep hearing about nowadays about professionalism. And I hear about this left and right in my industry, is the real estate industry. And at times it really, to be honest with you, it aggravates the hell out of me. Which is part of where this podcast was born. The Gripe Session was born from me talking about the very silly things that happen in my industry. And with that being said, it hasn't gotten better. So you would think that at some point we would be able to make things better by calling some of the silly things out that agents do. Well, unfortunately, I have a new thing for everyone today. So I just recently had a situation with an agent where the agent, quite frankly, wasn't even doing their job. And let me tell you what I mean by that. I received a phone call from an agent. That agent asked me, hey, we're getting an offer on the property. Okay, great. Send it over. And they proceeded to ask me questions that revolved around my seller and their motivation. Now, let me explain to you why that's a problem. If your listing agent, ladies and gentlemen, or even if your agent, if they're acting on your behalf as a buyer, is able to get out that information, they're doing one thing. Your listing agent is violating their fiduciary responsibility to you as a seller, unless you have specifically told them it's okay for you to tell people why I'm moving or what my situation is. And vice versa from a buyer, if you as an agent tell a listing agent without the consent of your buyer that your qualifications, they can go up higher on their offer, but this is what they started off at. That's a violation of your fiduciary. If you tell them they really love this house, this is what they wanted to start off with, but they've indicated a willingness for them to move up, you're violating your fiduciary responsibility. Well, we're going to get right back to the Gripe Session podcast. But before we do, we got to have a word from our sponsors over here at bestguyever.com. Make sure you never forget an important date ever again. Never forget any important dates with your wife, your daughter, your sister, your mother, or your mother-in-law for that matter. We want you here to be the bestguyever.com. And by the way, bestguyever.com helps your local small businesses. So it is a win-win for you. Not only can you be the bestguyever.com for those people that love you, but you can also support your local small businesses because bestguyever.com only deals with local small businesses. That's right. So make sure you get to www.bestguyever.com and subscribe. And by the way,
Let them know that you found out from us from the Gripe Session podcast. And because you're coming from the Gripe Session, we were able to get you a little bit of a deal for them as well. What's that deal, you say? Well, once you register, put in Gripe Session in the promo code. That's Gripe Session. And you're going to get 1 year free subscription to be the best guy ever. That's right. 1 free subscription by putting in Gripe Session in your promo code, and you're going to get a year for free. You can't have it any better than that. So make sure you go check out bestguyever.com and let them know the Gripe Session pulled you in. And now, back to our local program.
Now, we use terms like fiduciary responsibility, which in layman's terms is very similar to attorney-client privilege, if most people that have watched or listened to this have heard that statement before. Well, there's no different when it comes to fiduciary responsibilities. Agents have a fiduciary responsibility to their client. They have a fiduciary responsibility to hold that information close. It's between you and your client. Now, a lot of people say, oh, well, you're not working with me, George, because I'm trying to get information from you and you're not giving me information, which technically is not accurate. I'm not giving you information that is my seller has not authorized me to give out. And that's the difference. My relationship with my client has no bearing on whether I would like to make a deal or not. And let's also be real. Agents don't get paid unless they make deals, right? We don't make deals unless somebody closes on a transaction. So there are a lot of people that get brainwashed by some of their shops. Oh, they don't ever want to make deals. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in this industry. Okay? Well, no, there's a lot of dumb things. Let me phrase that for a second. Yeah, no, that's probably one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in this industry. But with that being said, the job that we have as agents is a job to help people find their home. It's a job that I take with a lot of responsibility. And here's why. Finding a house for a buyer or selling a house for a seller is some of the biggest decisions financially that someone is ever going to make. Ever. If you don't necessarily agree with that, give me another financial decision that someone's going to make that is bigger than purchasing a house. And the training that some shops do not do, or companies, is part of the problem, which I get. But where is the solution in videos such as this?
Hey, we're just going to take a real quick break from the Gripe Session. We're going to get right back to it, but we want to bring you another word from one of our sponsors here, which is SearchStatenIsland.com. Yes, one of the things that I do every single day is I'm a real estate practitioner. I am a licensed realtor. I am a appraiser. I'm also a mortgage broker. So why do you ask any of those questions? Well, quite frankly, because if you have any questions on real estate in any part of the country, all you have to do is reach out to me, go to www.searchstatenisland.com or find me on the social media platforms. And there's a very good opportunity that I'll be able to help you regardless of whether or not if you're in New York where I'm home based or if you're someplace out in, whether it be Utah or Texas or somebody out there, there's a very good chance that I will be able to help you regardless because I have contacts throughout the country and I would be able to make sure my clients are always taken care of. So make sure you check out www.searchstatenisland.com. And now back to our program.
I'm trying to educate the public as to what they should be looking at when it comes time to finding an agent. You want an agent that does have a track record. You want an agent that does do their job and doesn't ask the other agent to do their job for them. Facts. There are agents that unfortunately go out there, don't know anything, and they want another agent from another company, mind you, to educate them. Now, I'm all for mentoring, ladies and gentlemen, but if you want to share commission, or if that agent wants to share commission so I walk you through the transaction, Great. I'll share your part of the commission. But see, nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that. They're saying they want you to do it for them and want you to take the time to hold their hand through a transaction because their shop didn't do training to show them how to do something. Now, does that make sense to you? Because it doesn't to me. We're all in an industry that we have a lot of responsibility. Part of the responsibility is the shops educating agents, making sure agents do their job, protect their clients' interests, know how to put a deal together, be mentored by somebody. All of those things will help our industry get better. It will help your clients, buyers and sellers that watch this. These are all questions that you should be asking your agents. What's your availability like? How do I get in contact with you? I ask a lot of same questions of people that I deal with. If I have a question for you, what's your availability like? And everyone says, oh, you can get me all the time. But you can't because maybe they have a secondary job and this is their second job, and their main job, they can't talk to you during the day. But that's the only time that you have to talk is during the day. And some things can't wait. So these are all things that people should think about when choosing an agent. And to my fellow agents out there that might watch this down the road, I ask you a question. Are you an agent that's out there that's actually doing their job, or are you depending on somebody else to do your job for you? It's a question you can only answer yourself. But with that being said, I want to thank everybody for watching and listening to the podcast again. We definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate you tuning in. If you have any questions on this video or like to give some comments, hey, well, you know what you got to do. Reach out to me on the social media, send me a direct message, or you can comment on these comments below on YouTube. But with that being said, I want to wish everybody a well thought out day. Wednesdays with Monica, baby. Make sure, main thing, do something nice for somebody you wouldn't normally do. And we'll catch you on the next edition of the Gripe Session. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Gripe Session. Please follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.